Good morning, traders. Who's out there and ready to get into the trading action? It's been up, down, up, down. What will we get today? Of course, PCE coming in today, and it just came in line. Seems like the market wants to run. Let's find out if we can get that bounce today to hold.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Ben, I miss Nick too. I know he's out there right now in probably second period or first period right now with his phone underneath the desk looking at us like, I miss you guys too. I miss you too. Don't worry. I know that guy, Nick. He doesn't stop watching the market. He's a market enthusiast. He's probably right now in English class saying, what the hell with these verbs? I want to talk about the market. Let's go ahead and bring on my man, Ryan Faloona. We'll get into the market action. Of course, you guys smashed the like. Did you hear that comment?
I was just thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure that Nick's already been through the class that teaches him about verbs, but I know what you're saying. And I'll say this as far as Nick goes, I suspect we'll see him back here. Let me just throw that out there.
Yes. He definitely shout out to my man Nick out there. We miss you. I hope you're tuning in somehow in the middle of class. You know what? You should hack the TV and just put us up on the TV. They'll probably get more out of us than they will out of their class today. But let's get to the action. Let's talk about the stock market here. I will tell you guys that I do have a swing trade on right now, guys. And looks like we'll see what happens here, guys. It's going to be interesting. Got UAC here. We're going to see what happens right now, slightly up, but of course we'll see what happens out the open. Just let's pay attention to the market here. See if we can get this nice to lift back through 43, 431 to 80s. That's going to be the price point that I'm seeing. But what are we seeing all pre-market? An up action, right? It very much could just be a half of this move down right out the open. That's what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking for kind of red to green actions. So quick shorts out the gates, eventually followed by potentially longs later in the market. We're not going to go one way, guys. It's going to be a little bit choppy, I think, here throughout the end of the year. We started going straight down. Now we can get a bounce to maybe even 432s and then continue right back down towards 422. Eventually, I think we go back down to 420. But that's just my area that I'm looking for because that'd be 50% retracement. We'll see if we end up getting to those levels. Yesterday, definitely getting a bounce back on ARM. That's going to be one stock to kind of keep an eye out for. It has been starting to bottom out, so keep your eyes on this. As it starts to bottom out, it's going to give us opportunities to maybe get long on this. Another way to keep an eye on ARM is if ARM keeps going, I think NVIDIA can go back towards 450s. And if it gets back to 450s, you're starting to reverse all that downside action. And we could start pushing back here. So we'll see what happens on NVIDIA. I think ARM really kind of determines what happens to NVIDIA. It's kind of weird, but ARM has been really the reason I think that we even got this bounce in the first place, because we started getting some strength there on Monday, followed by a couple of days of some pullbacks. Now we're starting to get a lift again, and we're clear above the 55. So we'll see what happens there on ARM. We can take a look at some other action. Like always, smash the like out there, guys. Eldon asking if I'm going to get back into AAL. I've been watching AAL. Right now, the problem here is that I'm expecting the consumer to slow down and not speed up again. Now, can these airlines eventually bounce through? Yes, but I'm going to have to wait towards 15 now. I'm going to let it decipher through here between 13s and 14s. Eventually, I think we fill this gap. Once we fill this gap, that's when I'd be really kind of starting to pay attention to it. Unless we go back into this area, it's kind of dangerous to be in it right now. It could go lower, so I need it back into that spot before I can even make a call on going long. Where is Gil from Trade the Pool? You see, Gil, this is what happens. You come here some days, and then the next thing you know, they're always looking for you, Gil. Well,
They're
I
like
know Gil will
cats.
be
They're,
here.
they're like stray cats. If you feed them, they keep coming back.
Yes, 150%. But I appreciate you, Jan, for being here. So it's always good to see you guys in the chat. I'm sure Gil will be with us just shortly. You guys smash the like. I always love that we actually have somebody that comes in here every single day from Trade the Pool and actually shares even some of his trading action. You guys hear him battling in there. He was talking about Tesla yesterday. We'll take a look at the action. Let's go to Ryan now. Of course, I can talk about some more stocks. If you guys have any bigger names that you want to get into, please let us know. I'm going to kick it to my man, Ryan. We'll take a look at the SPY. And then, of course, if you guys have any tickers you want to call out, you got a nice shot right now to get a nice coverage. Throw it up there, but hit the like button and let everybody know you're at the #1 place to be and trade with, a community that actually supports itself here on Benzinga, of course. And we're going to be here for you guys, just like you guys are here for us. Let's get after it, Ryan. What do you see on the SPY?
All right. Well, we are bouncing. That's what I see on the SPY here. We pretty much overshot that purple shaded area, and then we're continuing to bounce here. I got to think this is just a relief bounce. I don't think the bear trend or bear market is over. I think we're definitely going into a recession. I personally already think we are there. I know the people in charge are trying to paint a rosy picture. I don't think we're going to be able to stop this train. So the question really is going to be, where do we reverse? Maybe we do bounce to 437. Maybe we do have another 6 points of upside here before we turn around. That would cause us to reverse at the 100-day moving average. We'll see if that's the case. We are in bounce mode. SPY is up here today. Futures are up here today. We're just going to play the trend. We're not going to fight it, right? We're just going to play the trend. Let me flip over to the movers tool. We'll talk about a couple of stocks that are up here today. First one here is going to be Blue Apron. This is a stock that we've traded a whole lot. Nothing going on. They are being acquired now. Blue Apron shares trading higher after the company announced an agreement to be acquired by Wonder Group for $13 a share. Stock's currently at $12.86. That difference is representing the possibility of the deal falling through, although I don't think that's going to happen. No trade here, but just interesting. This is one that we've traded a whole bunch. It's been on the relative volume scanner. There's been PRs that pop it in the pre-market, the whole 9 yards, and it's getting bought out. I know that with the market just open here, so really quickly, the only other two I wanted to mention is going to be GPCR. This is popping huge on news here today, and Femi, which has really kind of been the stock du jour this week. So I'm going to flip over to my main workspace. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. I'm looking at CCL here out the gates. Of course, they reported earnings. There's some cool stuff that was mentioned in their earnings report, like seeing Q4 adjusted EBITDA at 800 million to 900 million and seeing Q4 occupancy at 101% or higher. How do you see it at 101%? So you're overbooking these crews. That's interesting to see, right? And look how it came down. It went up off of the first kind of where the algos grab it. Then all of a sudden it starts coming down. I think a part of this was because you could see that they reduced some debt, but they also talked about that they still have 5.7 billion in debt liquidity there. And then that brought some downside action, but then the comments of the guidance bringing this right back to 1490s.
Femi running out of the gate here. I didn't take it. Sucks.
It's all good. Let us know how the move is going. How big of a pop we talking?
Well, I was watching it as this candle was going up, and as it was going through too, I was like, yeah, this looks pretty good. Went as high as 221, so that would have been a decent scalp. Now we're getting a pullback here, so we'll see where this sets up. Missed that first move though. That's all right. We'll see if we can. Trading has really kind of been tough recently, so maybe waiting these first 15 minutes out of the market is probably a good idea. We'll see if Femi sets up again.
All right, guys, looking to take some profits in a second here from my swing trade. As things go lower, I'm just dragging it down here. UAC to the short side here. I'm going to go ahead and take some profits in just a second. You can see that quick down move here. Now down to the 45s, just trying to trail it and let it just keep washing out, because if it keeps washing out, I'll let it keep going down. Any move back up is probably just going to go ahead and hit my stop here. Holding it at 550s right now, looking for another move back down through the 540s, and then going to start looking to see if I can get some stocks out there. But this is going to be the first stock, maybe give myself a nice little daily cushion. I won't mind a nice little $30 cushion to start the day. oil getting smacked, that's actually one stock that we can keep on our radars, right? We can keep an eye out to see if we start to see that oil turnaround. Drip is one way that you can maybe trade it on the daily. We'll see what happens on that action. Soxel to begin with coming down here. So the SPY starting to decline here out the gates. I talked about maybe potentially red to green move, especially since we've been green all morning. I think we're starting to see a little bit of a red move action here. So keep your eyes on names like Apple. Apple just went popped and then right back down. So be careful on names like that as you're starting to see some downside action here.
Femi, there's some size there at 215. If it can snap that, likely goes.
I'm gonna put you up there. I accidentally hit my TC screen here, so it looks a little wild. Just gotta move my TC screen to the right.
SOUN moving today. Yep, that's at the highs here. How about GPCR? Big mover here.
All right, guys, all out of that UEC, made myself a nice little cushion there. Just going to kind of keep an eye on it now. Nice little cushion made there. Now I just got to focus and try to keep myself into the green. Look for a nice position for the day.
Femi went right through that. That was fast. God, this stock is just these stocks that are really spread. This is what a waste. 60 cents. Forget it.
Yeah, just forget it, man. There's no point.
Forget it. There's just no
move
point
on.
even. Yeah.
There's so many other stocks in the stock market, man. There's over 12,000 stocks you can be trading with trade to pool, right? And so do you need to stick to one? No, you don't need to, guys. And one thing that I see in common is that everybody looks at the gappers list and just goes with the top gapper. I think that's just, honestly, that's just a kind of a very simple strategy that's been given by the penny stock traders that can be a very easy way to be tricked consistently every single morning, Ryan. So that's why I pay attention to more the daily charts on those smaller names than what's happening today. Because what's happening today doesn't really matter much. You got to look in the longer
gappers,
time frame.
The top gappers is just the list that I prepare. The tool that I'm driving the trades off of is the relative volume tool. That's telling me that there's momentum there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that addition.
So basically, what I looked at is I took a look at GPCR here. Sure looks like it wanted to curl off of that first down move. As soon as I pulled it up and traded the pool and looked at the spread, I was like, nah, we're good here. We're gonna go somewhere. Femi would have been a better trade. We actually did break that spot that we were just talking about. That much easier, frankly, much easier.
All right, JPM going to the red. Financials are on my outlook to see if they can go red today. I'm going to keep watching to see what happens there, but definitely on my radar today. I got a couple of banks that I'll be watching. Even TD, I think, could come right back down today. I'm going to keep watch on these stocks to see if they get hit. TD, Canadian Bank, Toronto Dominion. FAZ coming down the 915s. Looks like that could turn around today. I'm keeping an eye on that type of trade where banks go down, the market comes down today, and a big part of that is the banks. KRE, I'm going to look to see if it can reject 42s here and then go right back down. Looking around, team. At least I got myself a nice little cushion for the day. Out the gates here, what am I seeing? Utilities, consumer cyclicals leading, technology behind that, real estate. What's in the red? Energy, healthcare, and basic materials. How'd that CCL do? It's working its way back to 15. Will it get a hit here? is something to think about here, or will it recover? It's battling that 15 right now. I think it's something definitely to keep an eye out for. Can it get back to that pre-market pop of 1561? Fast mover today. All right, what are you guys looking at in the chat? Disney Run. You can take a look at that in a second here. See how this is rejecting that 15. A part of me thinks up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2. Then you got an up 3. I'm looking for one more pop towards 15, 15.10 to reject that and come right back down. Then I could get short Carnival Cruise Lines. But I would want it to test one more time to that 15. We'll see what happens there. Palantir up to 1645. That's actually looking good. Nike came red out the gates. Be careful out there. Bank of America just hanging in there right now. SPY overall going red. It could go back to green. XLF looking for that to go down here. Blue Apron not really doing much.
Blue Apron was acquired, so it shouldn't move very much.
Yeah, it's not going to move much. It just has a lot of volume. That's what's showing up here. Nike trying to start making its way back. Stocksell going lower there. BNOX coming back up a little bit.
Get it.
That's how it is trading those, man. It hit me hard yesterday also, man, so don't worry about it. But it is getting some volume, a little love there. K-Web. Looking around, guys, trying to find at least a theme, something that makes sense here. Carnival Cruise Line's already coming down there, so not going to go ahead and get after that one. JPM going red here, so that could start hitting some of the banks here. I'm keeping an eye on that. Wells Fargo going green here. Cyclical names, I think that's important to kind of keep an eye out for. Apparel manufacturing, UA, Under Armour getting a little bit of a lift there. Trying to find some names that are up here. UA, definitely one of those. Resorts and casinos getting a little bit of love today. Caesars getting some push. Wynn Resorts.
Now
Penn
that's
getting a little
interesting.
lift.
That part is interesting, Mitch, because I wonder if there's increased foot traffic in Asia with some of those casino names. Now, I know you mentioned Wynn. You might want to check Melco for that one.
Yeah, it's right at the top there. Up 5%.
Yeah, got to be something going on with the Asia casino goers.
I agree. At least some lift, right? And I'm trying to find trends, right? That's why I'm looking around, guys. So that would be like MGM. That'd be like Wynn. Wynn is winning today, as you guys can
LVS
see.
would be another one.
Yep, Las Vegas Sands, really Macau Sands, as I like to call it.
Macau Sands, I like that. I like that as a nickname.
It's the truth, right? I mean, it's not Las Vegas Sands anymore. They don't even have exposure to Las Vegas anymore. Yeah. So, I mean, I think you got to change your name, right? If you don't have exposure. But
I think so too. I think if you have no exposure to Las Vegas, you should not be allowed to use that in your name. That to me, that
you're trying to trick, deceiving retail traders, right? The average trader is just going to see the name and be like, "Oh, Las Vegas is doing well today. I should maybe go trade Las Vegas Sands." No. That might be a little bit of confusion there. Yeah. On mentioned in the chat, that was one that I wanted to keep an eye on, because since Nike's mentioning direct to consumers doing so well, a stock like this could actually get a nice lift today. And on has been holding on the daily support, the daily gap, for a while now, and it's starting to get a lift. We'll see what happens with this one. On. Nice little push out the gates there. We'll look to see if this pulls back and then holds like a VWAP pullback. VWAP is around, I'd like to hold like 280.30s. VWAP is right above it at like 28.42s. Can Nike come back here? Nike's working its way. It's right back at VWAP here. Are we going to see red to green action moves today? That's something that I'm looking at in the SPY. The SPY just kind of came back to VWAP, rejected that move. Banks still holding in. KRE making a third attempt here for 42. looking around, guys. I'm trying to get shorts. Probably some of
Yeah,
these
I don't
banks,
see
but
anything here. I did see FSR. Good callbacks. I know 13 has been on FSR for a while here on a potential 7 breakout. That actually still looks pretty decent on the daily chart here. I don't really see it. I don't. I got nothing so far.
I'm with you, man.
I got
can't
nothing,
blame you for
bro.
that outlook.
I'm not going to force it because every time I've tried to force it this week, I've gotten absolutely destroyed, and I'm about done with that. So.
All right, I'm going to let KRE try 42s here. If it rejects and comes back to VWAP, that's when I want to start getting short. So I'm looking to see if financials are going to stay in the red. That's pretty much what I'm looking at right now, at least there. Defensives are going down. Real estate is coming down. Technology is actually holding up today. Let's see what's doing well in technology today so that maybe we can catch something that's getting a lift. Tech Q's just made an up move here. So ZS is one that's doing really well. Just bounced off the VWAP. A non-tech component of the Q's, Moderna doing well. Warner Brothers getting a little bit of a lift today. I don't know why the hell Warner Brothers would be up, but hey, Adobe's up 0.96%. I'm looking through some names. ENPH doing well. Of course, solar name Ross Stores getting a little bit of a lift there. Airbnb pushing up a little bit, and I'm seeing some of the leisure names show up here. So be careful with maybe betting that CCL to the downside. It could get a little bit of a bounce. I'll keep an eye out on that one. Micron definitely got hit yesterday, but is starting to bounce back on the day, and it's actually higher than yesterday's action. So look to see if Micron starts working its way back to 70 is one thing that I'm keeping an eye out. Netflix just made a little pop to 382s, pulled back here to 381. Will it get another pop back up, or will it crack right back below the 380s? I'm just taking it easy right now. I think that, especially out the action today, I think it's going to be smart for me to save my bullets.
I tried Femi in this consolidation area, just closed it flat just because it does look like this might actually kind of roll back over to the VWAP. To be quite honest with you, entry at the VWAP would be so much better anyway. So I'd rather have that happen here. I basically just closed that flat, just kind of waiting it out. Otherwise, I don't really see anything else. I mean, GRTS, this one a little bit interesting. This chart anyway. Oh, here, I'm not up. My bad, Mitch.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
GRTS, this chart pretty interesting here. A little extended from the VWAP. Daily chart looks pretty good. Volume here is all right. I'd like to see it really kind of expand here. GRTS actually taking that spot out now, taking that 165 spot out now as we were talking about it. So not in this. We'll see though.
All right. We'll see if KRE is trying to touch that 42 right now.
Femi, man, this looks like it's trying this consolidation area. It's rough. It's volatile. It's back and forth here, but this consolidation area, it's definitely trying. It's definitely trying. Volume's still pretty outsized compared to yesterday. I'm Femi. No, 13. My Southern friends would be very unhappy with me. I'm inexperienced with grits, and the grits that I've tried I haven't really cared for. So no, I'm not doing that this morning here.
All right, we'll see what happens here. I just saw the KRE make a move to 41.95, reject that 42 move. I'm giving it one more attempt here to get to the 96. If I see this on a 5-minute basis turn red, I'm going to start hammering on the KRE. And I'm probably going to go big quick and then just try to take some quick profits and then look for a little bit bigger move. Looking to see if financials get into the green here or they reject right back down. JPM coming right back down today. That's a good sign. Bank of America coming down. KRE trying that 42 again, but I have a feeling it's going to fail and turn around here. So I'm keeping an eye out on some of these names.
Carmen, yes. Hey, Ryan, if I don't get the link right at 4, is there a way to dial into the happy hour late? Yes. So first of all, the link stays up till 4:15. So It should be up there till 4:15. But yes, once you've registered one time, you get an email about that you can join from. So just check your email. It's from Zoom.
Nice that I waited there. I avoided.
Look at the pull on Femi. Look at the pull on Femi. They tried to take that high out. Sorry, Mitch. They tried to take this high out right here and immediately yanked it back. Now, it's not breaking down, so that's a good sign. This thing is going to break out of this formation at some point. What do I have here? Bottom side 211, top side 227. It will not stay in here all day. Something's going to happen. You tell me which direction it's going to be, and we'll trade it that way.
Lynn's talking about something in the chat that I think is interesting. It's not to maybe go against what she's saying, but she's saying that she's watching AI as a small indicator on which way tech will move. Slow climb lately. Now, I think that AI is a really good indicator for specifically AI names, but I wouldn't necessarily view it as an indicator for overall tech. I think you need a little bit bigger market cap to be kind of more of an indicator. But to tell you the truth, hey, to each his own, right? If you want to use that, you can use that. You can use whatever you'd like to use as an indicator. But I don't mind the outlook and mentality of looking at something and seeing if it's judging the overall market, right? Like I like to stick it to those as some of the higher names, right? Like Nvidia, Microsoft, the big boys, because the big boys moves things how? With ETF effects. And that's why I think it's important to look at those as sometimes indicators. Now, AI isn't going to move too much on ETF effects. That's why I would say that maybe AI isn't the best indicator for overall tech because it doesn't have too much ETF effects on, let's say, the SPY or the Qs, right? Now, when Apple's going massively big, Tesla's going massively big, that actually plays into those ETFs because something has to happen, right? Some rebalancing has to happen. I think that's important to catch. Just trying to talk a conversation.
Sydney,
here.
Try a little cheese in your grits with shrimp and garlic. Now that sounds really good. That might be something to do, Sydney. Really appreciate that.
I like cheese in my grits. I actually do like that. I don't know about the shrimp and garlic. I haven't had that yet, but hey, who knows?
Femi, man, I got FOMO like you would not believe right now. Femi and GRTS both moving here. GRTS is a little bit slower, easier to trade. Femi broke this top. I wanted to kind of maybe get in on that. Just didn't do it. Just didn't do it. Missed opportunities this morning, folks.
Can't blame
Congrats,
you.
13. I'm glad you're still in it.
Seeing some things go into the red
this week has been so bad. This week has been so bad. The trades that I've taken, this is what I'm going to have to work on over the weekend. The trades that I've taken have not been good or just straight up punished me, and it's caused me to hesitate for future trades. Femi worked here. Femi worked here. I was in this. I was watching the breakout spot, and I'm out of it now, and I'm watching it go. And it's just, this is driving me crazy. The performance, the poor performance from this week is still affecting me.
Yeah, what you're mentioning here is literally my weakness, Ryan, is where I plan trades, don't take them. So one thing that I would say on that aspect is always one option is extreme downsizing and practicing execution. Wait till execution starts coming back into your favor. Wait till you see the data start coming back into your favor. This is what I think good day traders do. They limit the downside turns and they're able to wait until their data starts going back in their favor. Because if you have a true processed approach, you should be able to work your way back into the green. The key is limiting the damage in the downturn. And if you need to go to like 50 shares and you normally trade 600,
I've been doing nothing. I've been doing nothing but reducing size. Like I am tired of reducing size. I need something to start working here. I had this. I'm frustrated because, and I'm sorry for showing my frustration, but this has been a thing building this entire week. And it's like, here I am. I had this. I had it called. I had it called pre-market. I had it called in the market. And I had a position for F's sake. And I still can't get the gains out of it. God. And now I bet you this runs all day without me.
Hey, maybe we work on maybe even just Lynn bringing up a really cool trading book, psychology book, The Mental Game of Trading, that she's been reading. That's been helping her. Hey, maybe we go ahead and we pull up some of those action. That was my fault, Ryan.
Full screen. Man.
No, that was my fault there. I'll switch you back there. But that's one thing that I'd say is, just find ways to start getting around that, right? Webb saying, now you're sounding like him. Well,
Yeah,
you see, you're not the
we
only
all
one
go through it.
struggling,
Yeah,
man. We all
go through it, but it's just frustrating, man. It drives me insane.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that aspect. I mean, it's just the way it is sometimes, guys. SPY starting to work its way back up here. 431s. We're starting to see a little bit of a spike. I'm paying attention to ARM. ARM made a red move just recently. Let's see if it starts making a green move here and we start actually getting a lift off. Nvidia's lifting off. I will say that. Apple's starting to lift. It's above VWAP. Not really a monster move. Microsoft looking a little bit stronger than Apple. Google getting back into favor. So the big boys are leading right here. That's what's holding the market up. That's what's bringing the market back. And the Q's higher and the SPY starting to get above VWAP. So right now, I'm just still on the watch. I still haven't taken another trade there. I want to get short the banks, but also they have to show me weakness. I'm not going to just get short if I'm seeing strength out there, right? So right now, I'm letting KRE do its thing. Eventually, I'll look to see if it turns around. JPM could go back to green. It's red right now. That's why I'm keeping an eye on that bank. CCL, let's go to that. CCL starting to recover the VWAP. Will it actually get that VWAP back? It went down to 1430s. When I was looking at it at a short at 1480s, I just wanted one more pop. Never got that pop to get short. Now it's starting to recover that level. It's right off the VWAP right now. Will it make a run to 15? Something to think about here. If you think that the leisure names are going to have a decent day today, you guys can definitely keep an eye on this. Peloton having a decent day, just to mention that. That did get a little bit of a pop today. Airbnb, big push there. I think that's why I think CCL could get a lift today, as it's getting this lift already from 1470s. If you look at Royal Caribbean, that's off the VWAP there. NCLH is also off the VWAP here. So you got a chance to at least look at this play right now. Looking around, guys. TQQQ starting to get a little bit of a lift there. Charge point, a little bit of a move there. Nike rejected the VWAP. Now starting to come back, rejecting VWAP again. Will it go lower or will it catch the lift? On bounced off of VWAP. We talked about that one just a few minutes ago. That one bounced off of VWAP, starting to get back to the upside. Is that Soundhound? Soundhound getting a little bit of a lift today. You know what started the lift off and I got a little bit annoyed, man? SoFi, Ryan. SoFi lift off yesterday off the 750s. And then now it's already up to 828s. And so now I feel like I'm chasing, but I still think this one eventually gets a nice little lift. I sold it down at 750s, man. Probably the low of the week, 738. So that's just a little frustrating, but it is starting to come back here. I looked for $8 pullbacks. Anything below 8 on SoFi looks interesting for me. Buy, just holding in right now. Not really making a huge move, but technology is still holding in. Big cap names. See if those big caps can go to the red. Meta is doing really well. 310 now when it was just at 300 yesterday. Oracle's getting wrecked. That's not doing well. Intuit in the red. How's Intel today? Holding the 35 pullbacks. That's slowly working its way back. Man, just not like a straight trend here, and I'm not feeling like taking risk right now. Normally I take a trade by now, but it's just quiet for me. Like I can just take anything, but there's no point right now. What are you guys talking about out there? SoFi is going. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. It just turned around on me. Femi. Guys, in that Femi. I can't trade these names. They're too cheap.
Been doing this for years. I've been doing this for years, and all of a sudden I can't do it anymore.
Hey, It's just process, man. Just get back to the process. I always think about that. That's the one thing that always does me right. And sometimes, like I mentioned, I feel like it's just get more and more extreme on limiting the risk until you see the data come back in your favor. Data speaks over everything. Looking at the China auto names right now that are just showing up in the scanner. So much that I
Explodes Maximus. This is true. At least the Lions won.
Yeah.
At least the Lions won. That was an awesome. It was just awesome. Every part about that game last night was awesome. Drowned my sorrows away from the Cubs, who are just throwing their season away.
The Marlins, baby.
Not rooting for the Marlins, Mitch. I'm sorry.
Them Florida teams, man. I got to get you on them Florida teams. The Dolphins, baby.
Don't the Marlins did their game against the Mets get suspended last night for weather? I'm pretty sure
they did.
They need to, and I think aren't they winning 2-1 in like the 8th inning or something like that?
Yeah, they're gonna resume it on the 31st.
They're gonna so they're still gonna do it in well.
Yeah, they're gonna resume it on the 31st in the 9th inning with 2 outs, top of the 9th. Marlins up 2-1. Dude, that call, Ryan, by the umpires, literally the Marlins coach came out and was like, "What is wrong with you guys?"
That I don't even get me started. Don't look. That was not the worst call. That was not the worst call yesterday. That was not the worst call yesterday. The worst call was the called strike on Bryce Harper checking his swing by Angel Hernandez down the third baseline. That is an embarrassment to the game of baseball. That is an absolute embarrassment to the game of baseball. I'm sorry. Get the fire emoji going. That guy needs to be fired. I never call for people's jobs. I understand that these are human beings and this is a livelihood and all of that. Angel Hernandez needs to be fired from baseball. He is an absolute clown. He is an absolute clown. He has no business.
Man. Tell us how you feel. Get it, Ryan.
No
Get it.
business working in Major League Baseball. Get him out of here. I'm not even a Phillies fan. But you know what? I feel for the people that paid to go see Bryce Harper play last night, and he gets thrown out on a ridiculously garbage call. He's awful. That was the worst call of the day yesterday. Okay, I'm done now. That actually felt good.
Yeah, I know how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you got to bite your tongue as a player because you'll get thrown out easily. You know the life. I'm the type of batter that they call that strike like 5 inches out the outside plate, and I'll grab my bat and draw a line, and I'd be like, "That's where the ball was, umpire." Oh, they get mad about that one real quick.
Did you see what happened last night? Go look that up. Go to my Twitter. I retweeted it. Go look at it.
Take a look for sure.
Go look at it, dude. You're a baseball purist, Mitch. You are going to be offended to your core.
Yeah, man. There's plenty of times I've seen like really horrible calls. Really horrible calls, man. It's just how it goes. All right, I'm looking around, guys, trying to take some trades here, guys. You guys out there, let me know. What do you guys see trending here? CVS red again, says Ben. That's actually one that is on my radar to kind of take a look at. Let's take a look at that. CVS now going red, but still hanging in here right on the 70 spot. I'll tell you why this is important. Look at the hourly. Yesterday, we had a pop to 71, and then it came right back down. I think it's been doing these pop and drops, so it could pop down towards 69. This one's in the middle there, but I did see like healthcare plans. They have been making their way back here. UNH is another one, right? You guys can look at United Health. You can also look at Humana, right? Bunch of these have been starting to work their way back and have this very similar style chart where it's trying to make a move back, but could just fail and come right back down. Let's go. Apple taking off here, guys, as we're getting a nice little strong move in tech today. Didn't expect to see that continue to hold here, but the Q's doing pretty well. You can see it here up there to 362.67. So definitely starting to see a nice little lift off there. Glad I didn't get short on some of these banks because they're going into the green now. And if they're green, that's where I got to be careful, right? That's where I'm definitely not going to be shorting banks if I see the overall sector green. So keeping an eye out on that. Cyclicals in the green today. Leisure, resort, casinos, apparel stores doing well. Department stores doing well. A lot of the names that were getting really beat up lately getting a little bit of a bounce. Even the Donkey Kong. Do. All right, let's see what else is going on, guys. We're seeing DPZ get a little bit of a bounce. Starbucks get a little bit of a bounce. McDonald's is in the red, though. That's something to kind of point out. McDonald's has been really weak lately. Ever since they changed their franchising fees, it's pissed some investors off, as that's been on the decline since then.
You know, the other thing about McDonald's is that you might have a really terrible event in the future here. If these weight loss drugs continue to proliferate, and actually, I shouldn't even say if the semaglutide type drugs continue to proliferate and actually get approved for weight loss, you're going to see these drugs expand probably tenfold in your usage, and places like McDonald's are not going to have the same sales. The food literally makes you sick when you're on those drugs. It will literally make you sick. And I would imagine that that's going to be a huge negative headwind for McDonald's in the future. We'll see if that materializes.
So you take a medicine to get you sick?
No, the semaglutide drugs like Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, they for weight loss, they work. But one of the things that they do is if you eat crappy food that's not like clean, it makes you nauseous. That's one of the side effects. And so what it does is it hopefully it's designed to help train people to not eat junk food all the time.
I don't know about all those drugs,
see.
Man. Whatever happened to just going to the gym and doing
Caleb
it the hard
says
way?
That food makes me sick without drugs. I'm sorry for laughing at that, but that's hilarious.
No, but like, whatever happened to just doing it the good old fashioned way? Do you really need to take freaking drugs for that, man? I don't know. That sounds like bro science. Tesla says, Lynn, I'll take a look.
I don't know what bro science means, so I don't know what that means.
Man. Keep it to the bros. Tesla, what's going on? What are you going to do? Ooh, nice little rip up. Nice little, what does that look like? Just right off the top. What does that look like? Head and shoulders on the hourly coming back towards prior support. Now we'll see if it acts as resistance here. So remember, just look to the left a lot of the times. That's going to help us understand where levels should kind of hold up. So it doesn't mean that it's going to not be able to break this, but it could mean that you could see a pullback off of these levels. So there you guys see it. We'll see if Tesla gets a little bit of a pullback now. You know, it's been going lower and lower and lower since my call, but I felt like, you know, a lot of people were looking at me a little weird on this one. Down to 31. When I was talking about this, the stock was at 52s. I think this eventually gets down to like $15. We'll see what happens on that one. The Bros Coffee Energy. I need some Bros, man. How is my Bros doing? Someday I'll reinvest in Bros. I made some really good money in Bros, so I don't ever want to give that back until I really want to get long it again. There'll be some day that I want to get long it. I didn't marry Bros like I married Jeannie, and that might have saved my life. Because I married Jeannie, and we're not having a good relationship right now. Let's just say that much. We are definitely in mediation for a divorce, but she doesn't want to get rid of me. I don't want to get rid of her, and we'll just keep battling right now. The bags, man, the bags. Don't get married to those stocks, even though you like them. Doxal going higher, but it just seems to me like this is kind of like a little bit of maybe a trick up move. That's why I'm not taking part of it. I don't trust these up moves. Amazon going back, could go red in just a second. Google pulling back fast now. Tesla on the pullback after that resistance test. Adobe is one that's definitely strong on the day. That one did a little bit of a takeoff move. AMD looks pretty weak here. ARM in the red. Let me take a look. Yeah, ARM pulling back pretty significantly here. We'll look to see if it can hold 55s. If it breaks 55s, it could just go lower. AMD's pretty weak also. I'll look at that run right now, guys. AMD here, pulling back here, but it could hold some kind of hourly levels, right? I always like to look to see if stocks look weak on the intraday, but still strong on the hourly. That's how you can sometimes get deeper time frame pullbacks and actually get a good risk to return. Where the intraday looks very bearish, but if you go back on time, this is actually still in a bullish trend, right? AMD did a nice little pop. Yesterday, it had this resistance here. This could eventually act as support, which is right around this 103.50 areas. You get a couple of wicks underneath it. You always got to understand where the next layer of support is, which is 102.50s. So somewhere in between here, I'm going to look for AMD to maybe hold and then work back to the upside, especially if the Qs are still ripping. We'll see what happens there. Financial services going lower here. So I'm finally going to start looking to see if KRE just does a wicked turnaround. Still just waiting, though. It's back at 42, where I wanted to kind of look for a little bit of a down move here. But needed to start trading below the VWAP. I'm not going to go short if KRE keeps holding VWAP.
VSME you guys are talking about, that's going to get halted again. That's not in trade the pool, unfortunately, but that's going to get halted. I'm still watching FEMI.
VSME. Wow.
Yep. Victor, Sandy, Mary, Echo.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
I think that this was new as of yesterday.
That might be
Media
it.
Holdings.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's halted here at the upside, 593.
Very low volume on that one.
Jay. Arm Rutro. Kramer says buy some now and under 50, probably why it's red.
Yeah, that might be it.
That's true. By the way, Jay, did you see Victor Hovland's albatross in the practice round yesterday? That's about one of the most bonkers thing I ever saw. Hole in one on a par 4.
Nike rejecting here. Nike going red here, rejecting the VWAP move back up through the 98s. Now starting to cut down. Did Nike already make the move on the day? That's something to think about here. Nike's earnings, they weren't really that great. They weren't like pop this much kind of great. And so I think it could go down today. I'd like to see one more attempt to get up there to 97.70s and then fail. That'd be the third time that you reject on the VWAP, and then I can start getting short on that name.
Femi's setting up here again, by the way.
A lot of the footwear names starting to pull back there. Energy's just getting wrecked right now. The drip still looks really good there. Are we finally seeing that XOM just get hit hard and not going to come back here? That's something to think about. Valero's on my radar. That already cracked there. For me, Valero needs to crack like 142s, and it could go sideways here for a while. I do have an alert for Valero eventually to alert me if it goes towards that level. I'll show you guys that outlook here, and why I like that one is that you have a lot of bunching up on the daily. A lot of head and shoulders action towards the top here of 147.50s. I just want to see it break the support, and then I could start going off of levels right above it. Palantir staying strong. AMC moving up today. Man, that's when you know they're looking in the gutter. SoFi with a little bit of a pullback to 811s. Can I get back below 8? I'll keep an eye on it. Micron making that lift. Remember, I talked about that earlier. Maybe we'd see a lift back in Micron as it started working its way back to yesterday's high, then took that out to 67. It's climbing its way back. Could eventually make a move to 70 on the dailies as it did a quick little washout, trying to make a move back there. We'll see if it can get back up there. Micron's earnings really weren't the worst. The big thing for them is that their future outlook still looks negative. So that's what was hurting them. Can't get to EBITDA positive. Man, it is a slow day today.
Yeah, it's
It
sure
seems to
is.
me like kind of one of those days where things are a little bit tricky.
I'm still watching the Femi here, and it looks like a possible flag on the 5-minute bull flag. Yeah, VFS, Jay, some 17.5 call sweeps on VFS.
I'm just sitting on the sidelines right now. There's very rare times that I'm on the sidelines like that much. Are you still in SoFi from last week, Bug? No, I got out there. I got crushed at 750s. It was actually a decent sized loss there for me. I tried, but it's way higher than where I had it. So, I
Femi
mean,
pull.
just timing, I think, was off there.
Femi pull and continuing to pull. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't try to take a stab at it. Maybe it holds this 222 here. 220, I have VWAP on my Thinkorswim platform.
Not getting much, man. Not getting much today. CCL coming right back down here, rejecting the VWAP again here. Will it just go down to the 1375s and come down? RCL still right a little bit above that. So if you're thinking that cruise lines are going to come right back down here, that could be one thing to go after. SPY heading down pretty quick here now.
Yeah, Chris, this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying excuse me. This is what I was saying earlier when it was first trading right in here, when it was consolidating, and then it broke to the upside, took the next leg up. The SME is open. Looks like that's actually, it did pop higher, but going to the downside now on VSME. Look, is this going to get halted to the downside at 532? Yeah, looks like it if they hold it here. VSME. Remember, I can't pull the up. Nope, they didn't hold it.
No worries.
They didn't hold it.
VSME. Don't know that one at all.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, frankly.
CCJ saw that guest on CNBC and Fox Biz all pumping it. That was the time to trim. Yeah, they were pumping it yesterday, right? I was watching CCJ yesterday. It was trying to do like a little bit of an up move and then just completely failed. Affirm is doing pretty decent right now. Getting a little bit of an uplift today. Man, I'm just stuck because the SPY's stuck. Why am I stuck? Because the SPY hasn't done crap all day.
Yeah.
Look at that, guys. I mean, I can't trade that. Hasn't done crap all week. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's right back to Monday's levels. This is just chop. And so I'm not just trying to give up the gain that I already have. I want to take a trade. I even have a cushion to take a trade. But the SPY doesn't know where the hell it's going right now. Look at that. It's just range bound right now since the open. So what do? I'm just going to draw some levels and wait for it to break that. If it doesn't break that, guess what? I won't trade. And I know that some people are going to be out there like, what do you mean you're not going to trade, Mitch? This is the live trading stream. Well, the truth is, I don't have to trade, guys. I got to be smarter than that. I got to understand levels. I got to understand support and resistance. I need the market to trend. If not, I just give up chop. This is one of the things that's the most important thing to look at. Jim Cruz, what time is the government shutdown official? I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't care for it. I think that's just pointless. But hey, everybody seems to pay attention to the government shutdown talk. So we'll see what happens. I think it's supposed to be on the 1st that the government shutdown would be official. But this weekend is also something going to be to take a look at. Chris talking about don't force the trade. Good outlook, Mitch. Hey, that's what I'm trying not to do right now, right? I could force the trade, but that would just get me into a trade and do what? Get risk to start. There's no need for me to risk if I don't see setups that make sense. SPY looks like it could come down here. KRE is one that I'm keeping an eye out. You see how it cracks right back down through 42s now, back down to the 41.89s. One that I'm looking at potentially to short also is Wall, but look how strong this is. Can't short things that are just strong for no reason, right? But if I look at our biggest bank of them all, the leader, look at JPM, really weak. That tells me something. That tells me that at some point, the market, or at least these like kind of bigger ETFs and these bank names could eventually turn red. So I'm keeping an eye on to see if JPM can come back. But if it keeps dragging, eventually I see that the bank's dragging too.
Femi
FAZ,
coming.
no,
I was
you
just
wanna
going to
go
say,
Femi?
sorry. No, Femi, yeah, coming to that 220 area. We'll see if it holds here.
Carmen bringing in the news. It was a 10 a.m. News that would probably come through. The deadline already hit, so further strikes being activated in the automakers. We'll see if that affects different names out there. And I'm also watching to see how that affects Tesla. Tesla still holding resistance right around the same level. This 254 level just seems to be really pesky right now. Can we get to 255 and keep going? Oh man, this is getting
Femi coming in now.
this is definitely a music type of day. I think that's what we need today. You know what? You guys, I need you guys to hit the like button. You know why? Because I'm about to lose all my monetization money. So hit that like button, guys. Support me so I can keep my job.
Oh, Mitch.
Hey, you know I keep it real, man. All right, we'll put a little tunes on, make things a little bit better, guys. You guys let me know if the music for some reason gets too loud. I'll tell you one thing. I'm just going to the music because to tell you the truth, right now, ain't much going on here. So
Yeah, I
all
mean,
right.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I'd love to hear. Do you guys have setups? I know we're all calling tickers here, but I mean, clear setup. Do we have a clear setup? And this VSME here, is this 13? I know you said it's a media group that manages digital creators, influencers, bloggers, reactionists, etc. I mean, do we think there's anything here for the stock? Oh, Rory, just big slice. That looks like one of my drives, except it went way farther. They're measuring it in meters, so I don't know what it is. That's the big slice there for Rory.
In meters, bro. It's in meters. That's
It
all
is
you need
in
to
meters.
know. We don't know that stuff over here in America.
I can estimate meters like 0 to 50, but after that, I'm doing it in yards.
Honestly, Johan, you're mentioning something that I've actually noticed I've actually done better on than most. Most people don't like to open positions after 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. and they try to take the first 30 minutes of the market to try to get their gains. Believe it or not, for me, if I look at my statistical data, I actually do better when I don't trade that first half hour of the day. And I trade later on when patterns are developing and
Yeah, me
fully
too.
developing, and then I can go ahead and try to get it. When I do bad is where I'm trying to jump into the first action. But Johan, if you do better in the first 30 minutes, then stick to that. Your data will tell you that's what matters. All right, time to start up a little playlist action here, guys. And like always, guys, you guys can actually check out this playlist. If you guys want the playlist, let me know. I have a little ease the mind and vibe playlist, and I think that today's one of those days where we gotta ease the mind.
Mitch is like, Ryan came out firing, calling for Angel Hernandez's job. Time to calm everybody down with some music.
Yes. We need some good reggae vibes to keep us nice and tuned. There you go. A little tunes coming in here. Let me know if it gets too loud out there, team.
Femi curling here,
And
by
hit the
way.
like, guys. Forget that monetization today. Positivity. Only one way. All right. Yes. We always need some Marley in life. That's why my dog's name is Marley. All right. Looking to see if the Qs come right back down, and there you guys see it. There's the takedown there. Now I'm going to go after a trade that's a little bit higher risk here and taking a shot here, guys. So all right, so I'm waiting for the slightest tick here to start dropping down, and I want to get short wall. Looking for this to start coming down. There it goes. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit here and then just start risking off of like 65 to begin with. This is about a $25 risk here. But if it comes back down, I could see this coming back down to even 45 on the day. That's 40 cents down. That's going to be the first kind of action to take some profit. We'll look to see if we really get a flip on the market. That's going to help me. Setting the stop already there, so at least I know what I'm coming after here. I could also come after all the KRE itself. It's right off of VWAP, but I'd have to hold towards the top of the range. JPM, I want to see that just get crushed here. So I'll show you guys the banks, the bigger banks, to see if we start seeing that downside action. Here's JPM. I'm going to definitely focus on that action there. The Qs coming right back down towards the support. Will it hold this support right here or make a cut down through 361? Through that 361 is where I think we can start seeing some pullbacks that are deeper time frame pullbacks. Be careful out there, team, as the market is starting to pull down. I was kind of looking for a little bit of a reversal action, trap the bulls, and then start smacking the market. It seems like that's what we're getting right now. With this being said, I think Nike goes lower, and there you guys see it, taking a hit there. Nike going lower, now back down to 96. Those earnings were not good this morning, even though, well, yesterday it came out. So many people were saying that this Nike report was a really good report. If you look deep inside, I don't think it shows strength. I think it shows also, and they're giving you insight that they're going to have to do markdowns and kind of kill some of their margins to battle the promotional environment. That was one line that was in that report. It's very important.
13. What was the quote yesterday from Tom about the sales in China or whatever when it came to Nike? There was some, I know exactly what you're talking about, Mitch. There was something in that Nike report that we flagged it yesterday in happy hour, but I'm drawing a huge blank on it.
Microsoft going red, Nvidia going red, Meta going red, Google going red. Oh, not Google's still green. But a lot of these bigger names starting to pull back really fast here. How's Tesla doing? Did it reject that move? Yeah. 255 rejects again, and now right back to BWAP. Seeing that downside action come in. The dollar just rallied hard. All right. Yes, trapping the continuation players. 100%, Jan. That's how they get you a lot of the times. You think it's going to be a continuation move higher, and next thing you know, what do? They trap the shorter time frame traders by long time frame pullbacks.
Thank you, 13. This was it. The Asian Games in China did not produce the Nike sales that they were expecting to. So that's a big reason for the weak China sales out of that report. Thank you, 13. I knew it. Just couldn't remember what it was.
Let's keep the vibe going. Up next, you guys got Soja here. Everything changes, guys. Everything changes. You hear that, Ryan? This one's for you, my friend.
What? Oh,
everything
the song
changes,
that you're playing?
Friend.
Yeah.
Everything changes. All right, wall starting to get in my favor, looking really good on this position. I'm actually going to be looking to add to this position and take a little bit of bigger shot here. I just needed to come back to my entry and a little bit higher so that I could add to this position. What my goal is to get short here now is closer towards the 46.50s. I need to see it on the bid and then smack it. We'll see if I get an opportunity. If not, it needs to be above my entry, 46.41s. Market turning short Tesla. Lynn, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you at least at that 254 level, I was thinking about flipping and shorting off 255s. But the big thing here is now do you get a VWAP rejection? So Tesla's going right back to the VWAP and can just bounce there right back to the upside. I'd look for one more attempt to get towards 254. And then when it turns back around, I'm getting short. But that's the way I would go about it. You guys call your shots.
Potential bounce here.
Nice. Interesting to take a look at that type of stock here.
Well, it's in like this, like here. See, look at this range that it's in right here. And every time it comes to the bottom of this range, it likes to trade back up to the top, or at least so far. I think if we break down here, maybe not, but maybe a potential bounce here on Carvana. Really high short interest on. Let me go check real fast.
All right, let's keep it going with a little bit of one of my favorite songs 44%. That I always say, you can't play loud enough. Stick Figure, Weight of Sound. There's Tesla pulling back stronger there. Tesla's pulling back there. Are the Qs pulling? Oh, there's a downside action move there. I was trying to avoid this downside from tech there. Now we're starting to test that 361 spot I talked about just about 10 minutes ago. Let's see if we hold below that on a 5-minute basis and then start making our way back towards the next layer of support, which is going to be 360.60s. And then the next layer from there is down in this 360.80 spot here. So the next layer, big layer to watch for, I would say, is 360. You go down through that 360, and then we could start rejecting all the morning grind up. Apple's still in the green. That's one to kind of keep an eye out from. And it's green from open, which is very important to note. Looking for the KRE to reject 42s here and then just start going lower. That will help my wall trade out. I don't want to go long or short on KRE because it's just small risk to return. It's like a 1-to-1 trade here. I'll show you guys that. KRE, what will happen here? Well, rejection of 42 back down. That's something that I'm looking for.
Carvana maybe curling to the VWAP here. I got 42.29 as the VWAP on Trade the Pool. See if Carvana can trade up here. That would have been an interesting spot.
Lynn said we normally don't short and play both ways. That's okay too, Lynn. Sometimes it might be that, hey, if you only play Tesla, you got to know the days when you need to not trade it if it's not working to your process, right? So making that early call sometimes helps too. Right? You guys trade Tesla probably more than I do. So you might know a little bit more than that, Lynn. Always think about what? Building your own decision-making skills. That's what we need to do here. That's what everyone's working on. It's your own decision-making skills that matter.
That's really the most important thing in any strategy that you adopt is how is your decision making? Are you able to do it on your own? It's why I know I was trying to get a lot of encouragement to trade Tesla, but it just doesn't work for me. Like it's not.
That's
like,
okay.
It's okay. Exactly. It's okay. I'll find something else. I know I'm struggling now, but I'll find something else.
Exactly the way I think about things all the time, man. And I think that you got to be trying to find things that try to help you.
Oh, 13. No, I didn't. Sorry. Was I supposed to post those here? Didn't even realize that was the case. Here were the day. Did we discuss this yesterday? I'm having trouble keeping the days straight. Here are the dates for some of the Asian holidays that's likely to make our market probably lower volume. I went ahead and pasted them in the chat. It did not paste very well. It's the best I can do, though. Sorry.
All right, trying to add here, guys. Just got added there. Some at 46.50s. Trying to maybe add a little bit more here. Just got to be careful with the spread because the spread is spreading out here on wall. So I just got now 150s. Got to be careful here. Of course, I'm risking a pretty decent amount now. They start adding to the position. They want to see the SPY. If the SPY can do a little bit of a move right back down here, not back above 431s. Back above 431s, we could squeeze back to the upside. So I'm just keeping an eye on it. And a big part of it also, I'm looking to see if JPM rejects VWAP and goes right back through 147. What on earth was that in the chat? I don't know. Are those just like holidays? All right, we'll see what happens here, guys. Definitely smash the like, guys. It's 10:32. We're gonna keep going for you guys, but like always, you guys smash up that like, support us as we support you guys. One of the #1 ways that you guys can help us is by hitting that share button down below. If you guys enjoy this stream and enjoy us growing, want to see us grow some more, like always, just hit that share button down below. Not even the like. To tell you the truth, really how you can tell and get us to keep growing, guys, is hitting that share button. Let everyone know this is the one community that actually supports its traders. That's where I think we're completely different. A lot of people are going to tell you they support you, but what do you see in the chat? You see a lot of like kind of anger. You see a lot of fear. You see a lot of fighting against other traders comparing themselves to results. I always say compare yourself to yourself. That's what matters. And what we're here to is to build up decision making, learn process, and get to the next level. That's what we're here for. This is the community that truly supports you to that next level.
This cat, man. Come on, buddy. You've been trying to do this all morning. Let's just not do it.
All right. I got stopped out of some of there on wall. I'm now only 50 shares deep because I'm going to let it test here. But if not, it's probably just going to get me out. You guys see it now. I'm only down $1.50. But what does this do? That at least gives me an ability to take one more trade here and see if it can hold and turn around. The big thing for me, the spread widened out there. And that's what's causing me to probably get hit here. We'll see if it gets in the 90s, definitely going to get out there. But we are still seeing the SPY bounce also. And so that's another thing that's playing into here. The SPY still hasn't gone through that 431, but it is bouncing a little bit. You guys see here that 431, will we get back above that or reject it is something that I'm keeping an eye on. Lulu taking a big hit today. Like usual, sometimes I get short name one day too early. Lulu coming down big today. Did Peloton get hit? That's actually holding in there. What about Carnival Cruise? That got hit down, man. That could have been a big short today on Carnival Cruise Lines. That gave us a great opportunity there. Just didn't take it. Look at that, guys. Look at the 1490 area, the 15 area. Now it's back down to 1388s. RCL was just hanging in there. Now it's starting to get hit here. 94s just got hit. It's already down about 50 cents from there, but could go down all the way to 92s today. That doesn't look too bad either. Always, it's all about positive. And there's one thing that's always about it too.
Yeah, sorry,
it's transparency.
Marie.
It's always also about transparency, Marie. And that's one thing that I definitely try to always bring here for us at Benzinga. And that's what we want to represent, right? And that's why I'm always trying to show you guys what I think is the right ways to education in trading, right? I can't tell you guys exactly what to do. That's not what we're here for. We're not financial advisors. But there's definitely one thing that I can tell you guys is that I'm a market enthusiast. Ryan's a market enthusiast. We always are trying to learn the market and trying to help you guys do what? Try to bend that learning curve, right? Get to the success a little bit quicker than even Ryan and I have seen it. And I think that the important thing there is learn from our strengths and our weaknesses. That's how you can go ahead and make improvements every single day.
Yeah, and Marie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm going through a funk and I'm not leading with positivity like Mitch is. I normally do try to do that, but there's another thing that I think is important, and we were having this discussion yesterday in the happy hour as well. One of the guys that was in there was like, you know, when I talk to communities, all I do is hang on a second. Sorry.
You're good. I got you, bro. A little chippy. We'll see what happens. I think he got a knock on the door. He's dealing with something right quick. All right, let's look around, guys, to see what we can get into. I guess I got stopped out of that last little bit of wall. I think this could still turn around, but I'm not going to keep fighting it. Only down 25 today. Like I told you guys, I wanted to keep things small. This gives me an ability to take a trade also later today. I think that's an important thing too, right? I'm just going to take it easy right now. I don't feel like we're getting a trend. I feel like we're playing chop. And when we play chop, that's easily how we get wrecked. So we'll see what happens. KRE actually made an up move there. That also is what stopped me out. Eventually, I'll see if financials go back to red. Technology
Bitcoin
is just
moving.
slightly green. Bitcoin moving. Take a look
Yeah.
at Mara.
No, I just want to finish my thought here, Mitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm really having a tough day here. I'm
you're good,
sorry
man.
about that. My thought here, we had a discussion yesterday at the end of happy hour where one of the guys that was in there was saying, I'm part he's part of many trading communities, including Benzinga. And he's like, every time I see other traders talking, they're talking about how much money they're making. And I'm struggling right now. This is what he was saying. Is anyone else struggling? And I had to tell him that, yeah, there are plenty of other people struggling out there. And I think that one of the things that you need to realize is that if you're constantly looking at people that are making money, or you have a group of friends that are always only talking about the money that's being made, you're in big trouble, because there's a big part of this game is losses and how you handle that and how you move through that. And this guy was relieved to hear that somebody else out there was struggling, that it's not all roses and millions of dollars. And I'm sensitive to that, because when I first started this, I thought nobody lost in this business. I thought on Twitter, everyone was a winner. Every day people won. And that's just not the reality. This is a hard job, and we're in a really tough time right now with the market. It gets easier than this. So don't be discouraged. I try to do that. I try to not get discouraged, but I mean, it's tough. This is a tough game. If this were easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would be wealthy. It's not easy. And don't buy into the people saying it's easy either. That's a trap.
I agree. I think that's something that you definitely need to kind of work towards, right? Is surrounding yourself with traders that are what? One, going to hold you accountable, and two, be real with you. Those two things, look for it, guys. So, traders that can help you keep yourself accountable. And again, traders that what? Be fully transparent with you. That's what it's all about. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is being mentioned out there, guys. Yeah, and definitely keep pushing towards it, right, guys? The truth is, it's step by step, step by step. And in the struggles, I always say the number one thing to do is to go back to trying to learn that process and executing that process. If you can focus on that, at some point, you should find a little bit of a curve, right? Where the curve goes back into your favor, where the strategy goes back into your favor. And I think it's always very important. And definitely being patient is one of the hardest things that day traders suffer with, right? Let's just be honest. The number one thing that a lot of day traders do to destroy their account is what? Over trading, team.
Femi going for the highs.
All right, seeing the market just kind of just slowly but leak here. This Qs are playing chop. Buy is just kind of hanging out, trying to reject this 430.75 and go lower. But it just seems to me like there's a lot of chop out there today, and it might just be a choppy day. If you're thinking the market's going to come back, then maybe Meta's one you can look at. It's definitely off the support. This 306.50 area maybe looks interesting to risk off the 306, but it's all how you see it, right? Like look at Tesla. It's back to that 254 spot, right? Where I talked about that maybe it looked like a short, right? I mean, it still looks like a long on the short time frame, but the longer time frame, I can see how could play as resistance. So you can see how it's right back up there, 253.56. Close to the 254 spike. Anything above that 254 could negate that move. It went to 253.83s just recently. So like you saw this on earlier, Lynn was even taking a look at it, and I think Lynn was looking at this one as a long today. It did bounce off the VWAP there multiple times, so it could hold now 254s and go through 255. I'm just looking to see if it rejects and then finally gives up. Microsoft still red. Amazon still Amazon just in break even. That's actually interesting. Nvidia is starting to come back a little bit. Big stock to kind of keep an eye out for is ARM. ARM is just going lower and lower. It hasn't reversed back to green today. I think that's another reason why you could see some of the tech names eventually leak. But it just seems to me like it's definitely a day that it's just battling. Look at this AMD chart. I'll show you guys it right now. AMD is just kind of on the battle itself here. And I can go to it. And so you guys can see here. Let me just get AMD up. All right. So you see how there's this little topping effect right now. This is what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, well, this looks like a head and shoulders pattern that could cut down through the 103, or it could just hold VWAP right now and then make a move to 104.50s. Just seems like a lot of stocks are what? In between right now. 50% pullbacks, setting up on longs and short. That's where it really gets difficult.
Yeah, so we are getting some news here. 13 mentioning it here. I went ahead and posted it in the chat. The United Auto Workers president said he will expand the strike at Ford and GM. Will strike Ford Chicago and GM Lansing Delta Township. Union opted not to call a new strike at Stellantis after it made contract improvements moments before the planned announcement. So you've got Stellantis popping. Haven't looked at Ford yet or GM, but I would imagine that those are probably sinking. Femi to new highs here now. Congrats on all of you that were able to play that.
These stocks have not moved with the strikes, man. They have not moved. I think they, like, for you to get what, a 10-cent down move there on Ford. Like this was front ran. That's what it was. It was moved back a month ahead of it. It was shorted when Ford was at the top here. And that's the hard part, is when stocks do this type of move where this was front run way ahead of time. Everyone knew probably this was going to strike. $15, I think, is where you saw shorters really come in here. And what have they probably been doing? They've probably been covering down here versus taking more shorts. Something tells me that, hey, this is just waiting to do a little bit of a rip to the upside. Once the deal goes through, it's a little bit of a trap. I feel like this is just noise, and the media can do this easily. This is why I was talking about the strike when way ahead of time. In July is when I first started talking about the strike, to get you guys ahead of the game, not like majority of the media that focuses on what as the catalyst already hit. When you do normally see that, it's usually too late to join the game. This is why I try to bring you guys things ahead of the time. And I always talk about it on Start Swing Trade. Watch how we're talking about this on Monday, and then other medias pick it up on Thursday and Friday. TOS won't let you short ARM. I highly doubt it will. You'd have to have like something like Trade the Pool that can get you to be able to short ARM. If you guys want to check out Trade the Pool, of course, you guys can check it out. More than 12,000 ETFs and stocks. You can short like a name like ARM. Take a look into it, guys. Hit the link right here in the chat. Take a look. All right. Let's keep it going here, guys. All right. It's 10:45, guys. We're going to wrap it up in just a little bit here. Got to go ahead and play a nice little jam to wrap it up here. Here's a Heart of a Lion Revolution. Forget the Bears. Forget the Bulls. Have that heart of a lion out in this market. I pretty much do show you guys when I'm getting in and out.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, maybe you've missed it, Conga, but
it is hard to see. It is hard to see because the positions are kind of small on the screen, but they're on there. Whenever we're sharing Trade the Pool, it shows any active positions that I have on my screen as well.
I'll try my best to also bring it full screen at certain moments so you can see it a little better. What time frame is that forward? When I was looking at this right here, this is the one daily. This is the daily chart. And what do you see also? Just like this bunch throughout this whole period in the strike. It doesn't make sense for me for Stellantis to have been moving up while the strike was happening. It doesn't make sense, guys. And so when things don't make sense, I feel like either someone's front run something or they know something that we don't. So I'm not taking part of that trade. It just seems like it's just a waste of time. Just talk out there. All right. AMD, what's going to happen, team? Are we going to get another declining type of day, or are we going to see a little bit of a lift off here? It's definitely a line in the sand and doing like kind of 50-50 move here. Now, the only question is, do I want to get short on AMD here? That's the hard part. Little part of me wants to get short and just take one more bet here. I got to decide right now if I want to do it. Let me see a slight tick here to 104.10s. Then I can risk off the 25s. All right, I'm going to take it there off the 25s, risk another 20 bucks here. We'll see what happens. See what happens if AMD comes down here. Looking for a downside action to come back down towards this 103.20 area. If we get back down to there, that's going to be about $85. Down to the low of the day is more than $100. So that actually looks pretty good. I'm going to first put this like kind of take profit at 100, and I'll work it up as I start seeing it come back towards my favor. Stop loss is right above this high here. It's going to be about, I'll risk a little bit more for the time being right now, 34. But what is that still? That's 3-to-1 outlook, right? 34 towards 100. It's pretty close to 3-to-1 outlook. Let's see if this can come back down and get me into the green today on AMD. This is definitely on what I call an inflection point where it could rip to the upside or rip to the downside. You just got to be careful. All right, guys. Smash it up out there, guys. It seems like we've had a great day with you guys out there. And like always, it's not always going to be just about getting in the green, but also about enjoying the stream. That's what we're all about here, guys. Is there a video that walks us through Trade the Pool? Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for how to use Trade the Pool, how to trade, strategies? One thing that I would definitely tell you guys to take a look at is their YouTube, right? They do have a YouTube, Trade the Pool. That's how you can look it up. I'll give you guys the link also so you guys can go directly to the channel. And they have a lot of great videos on there on how to use it. What are the things that it can do for you? A lot of funded traders stories, live trading examples, pre-market preparation. I mean, there's podcasts on how to grow a small account, biggest trading loss, 15 years of managing risk. There's so much there on the YouTube for you guys to just check it out. So here you guys have the link here for YouTube for Trade the Pool. Give them a nice little subscription also when you go and check it out, guys. There's the link right there. What happens with the profit split? Okay, go ahead, Ryan. What you got?
I was just going to say piece of news here. SSYS. This is one of the swings that I'm in. Jay Rice is in this. Jay, let me know what you think about this. We did get a piece of news here. 3D Systems issuing a statement on Stratasys' pursuit of strategic alternatives. 3D Systems basically saying they're willing to amend the current binding proposal to include a 60-day go shop period to provide immediate value certainty for shareholders. Stock's popping on this, but not really popping a lot. I actually think this is kind of a negative, right? If they're saying, hey, we're not going to change our offer, we'll even give you 60 days to go shop this. Seems to me that 3D Systems is pretty confident that they have the best offer out there. And Stratasys is saying, no, we want to find a better offer. So I understand we got a short-term pop here. But to me, I got to think that this is a negative. I got to view this as a negative. Still underwater on this trade too. My average is 1368. Current price is 1332. So about flat here. Just open to opinion on this one. To me, this doesn't, I mean, I like the pop right now, obviously, but doesn't sound like good news. Would have much rather have seen them raise the offer there.
All right, guys. I did want to give you guys that playlist. If you guys just want to hang out today and just tune in to one of the playlists that I selected. This is unlisted, so no one will know that you're kind of tuning into this also. It's just a playlist that I've created. I call it my ease the mind and vibe playlist. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm just throwing up a little added bonus for you guys today, especially on a Friday. Sometimes you just need a little bit of some jams to vibe to. So if you want to check that out, definitely check that out. I threw it up there. And Trade the Pool is not mobile friendly right now. It's mainly just for trading. And to tell you the truth, if you're doing this type of trading, it might be best not to be on mobile, right?
I agree with that.
Unless you're like using maybe like an iPad, maybe that might be big enough for you to like kind of get to success. But the truth is, you want to be able to have a good amount of landscape. You want to be able to have like a mouse versus, you know, clicking stuff on your phone. I've tried trading on my phone. It's very difficult.
I trade on my phone. I trade on my phone. I use it for closing positions if I'm away from my desk. Honestly, I can't understand why anyone thinks that trading from your phone is a better decision than trading from some type of computer, desktop, laptop, whatever. I don't understand it. I really don't. I've tried. You know, I know that there are a lot of people that, you know, spend a ton of time on their mobile device. If you guys ever wanted trading advice from me, don't trade on a phone. Do it on a computer.
I like that. I like it. We're going to probably go ahead and wrap up here, guys. It's 10:53. I'm going to focus on my AMD trade, see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm just slightly green, gotten up about 20 bucks on the position, but going to watch also the market because it could rip higher here. Next thing you know, I'm out of this AMD trade. Just got to be really quick in watching this. We'll see what happens. Like always, keep up with all our actions. We'll see if I get back into the green. Catch me a little later, of course, on Start Swing Trade, where we go into all the conversation of the market, talk about the swing trading action, and we will see you guys, of course, on live trading back on Monday. Don't go anywhere, traders. Lots to get into. AMD popping, of course, right when I want to close the market. So definitely just got squeezed there. Going to look to see if I can start getting out here. But that's what I kind of expected it. That's why I was trying to wrap up the show here and focus on the trade itself. We'll see what happens there. If it does get me out of here, about like 2 cents to getting stopped out on a protective stop. But like always, guys, just stay in the battle, keep learning things, and keep pushing that skill level. That's what we're all about here on Benzinga. We'll see you next time. Brian, have a great weekend, my friend. Take care.
You too.
All right, let's get you out of here. Let's get you guys over to the next action. Of course, you guys can stick around. There'll be more for you guys on Benzinga. Cannabis Conference just went through, is one of our best ever. Hit the like button. It's always be good with you guys. I'll see you guys later on Start Swing Trade.